The right question should be, has there been representation? Because
By the way,
you're just giving
because
it
if it's
importance.
effective, meaning something has been done.
Yes. Yet in my perspective, I think there's no representation whatsoever. Let's examine this. You know, it is still true that on a dinner table, you can be there as one of the three. As someone who is a diner, as someone who is a waiter, as someone who will dine. And for centuries, the youth have been belonging to a group of those that are dying on. So after going through this for a long time, and time reached that a few youth wanted to show up. And the system devised means to set aside a table for us so that when they are done with eating, they can throw something for us also. Have a little to bite on. I don't call that representation. Because what do you mean minority group is majority? Does it ring sense into your ears that you have 75% of the population but they are the minority? So in my perspective, we don't need these positions. They are just a duplication of the systems. Because
actually, Doctor, before you can
they
continue,
are just a duplication.
before you can continue, I would like now to present this, that we are talking about political affirmative action, and we say that the youth have only 5 representatives in the parliament. And then when we look at the parliament, we've got over 529. Those are elected positions, plus the 27 making it to have 556. Now, out of the 556, let's also consider a special interest group that the UPDF is having 10 representatives. The UPDF is a single institution, but the UPDF being a single institution is having 10, and the majority population now, 75 population, is represented by 5, but one institution is represented by 10. Which institution has got a ministry, and even the ministry, the minister is also a member of parliament as an ex-official. Now you realize, if we are having 10 MPs representing an institution and we are only having 5 people representing the majority population, 75% of the general population, that is where I come to you that this has nothing to do with representing the young people. It has nothing to do with representing the young people, and therefore I agree with you. But what could we propose? Perhaps we propose that we can actually have representative from the district level, because if we are having over 146 representing women, 146 representing women, the society has changed. Women are no longer treated the way they were treated. So if we are having 146 MPs representing women, why do we have 5 people representing the population that is over 75%? Doctor, that is what I wanted you to...
I think it's not about the numbers, because even when we question the effectiveness of the representation of women who have at least some numbers in parliament, it is also vague. We do not see it. So I do not think it's about the numbers. We don't actually need these positions. We need them, but when they are effective.
1 minute. I was watching someone that actually put a narrative that we need to experiment something. We say these 5 years we shall not have a parliament. And then these 5 years we shall have a parliament. You'll get surprised that now I am quoting what he said. These are not my beliefs. That you realize that 2 years without a parliament will actually be better than years with a parliament. Because at least you'll not be negative. You'll be at 0. 0 is better than negative. And people hold these views because they are backed by statistics.
Actually, yesterday I was having a conversation with one of the ignoredbazukulu also. We were wondering why the government is not prioritizing local governments. Because to me now it seems like we need the local governments being empowered than the parliament. Because
now let me tell you something. Recently there was a publication in I think Daily Monitor, and there was a proposal that they are bringing to remove all young people that are occupying positions in local government, let's say district service commissions. Now these are commissions that are charged with giving jobs at the local government level. They are fronting a suggestion to remove all those people, and the narrative is that young people are more corrupt. But me and you can actually believe that statistics are against that fact. Which young people was involved in the Gavi scan? Which young people was involved in the Karamoja Mabati? Which young people was involved in the Temangalo? Which young people?
That answers his question that he raised at one time, President, that young people are confusing ideology with biology. So I think the reverse is true when it comes to this.
Now the elderly.
Because now, once you try to look at, I've not had a young man who is an ED, executive director.
True.
I've not looked at a young man who is actually trusted in our system. That they can actually let you run the affairs. So we are into a system where we have old people who do not know how to even put on a computer, who do not know even how to make sure, even when they are to tell you that put for me a ringtone on my phone. Those are people who are educated, old people. And the worst of all, they have become ideological puritans. People who will deviate from anything that deviates from their worldview. You know, when you get to be old, the psychologist is here, you're going to correct me if I'm wrong. But we know age is one of the factors that affect intelligence. And actually you hit a point and you get this syndrome which is called narcissistic personality disorder. With that disorder, it makes you to be an echo chamber dweller. That anyone who speaks whatever that deviates from your worldview, you will reject it. And those are the people, and now they are putting the blame on us. We are more corrupt, where we do not have jobs, we are unemployed. I'm here, I'm an ignored Musukuru, unemployed graduate, and someone will say we are the most corrupt. I think that is not the narrative.
So that system has put us in a vulnerable position, and they like us there. Because the blame game scapegoating one another.
But that's where I come with this point where I say it's us to now look into that system. Because you have been saying, okay, that we have a lot of why, but there's no answers. So if you can say that you have sent a youth MP or another MP, any MP you have sent, but he's a youth, you have sent them, but they haven't done what you expect them to do. I have always sit back and say, okay, we have to ask ourselves before that. How have those people reached there? Because now we have just seen that only nomination fee is 3 million. And we are looking at someone who is just a fresh graduate, they have no job. Maybe even their background is not good. Meaning the only way they can get that money is to, if not getting them from a loan, they are going to sell whatever they had, not so. So just imagine this situation where someone got the money from the loan. By the way, this is not only for the youth MPs, even other MPs have gone for it. Because I have ever seen one MP who had a school and sold the school for the position of being an MP. And
there is
even hide recently the MP of Bukoto, a young man called Mayanji, was on an interview on TV and was talking about how he had a loan of 600 million to sustain
an election. There's also a minister from the north. She was talking about that in a single day, I think she gave people 500 millions to vote her into office. Now, if you spend over $1 billion in just campaigns, what do we really do?
What should they do?
Getting there because you know you're going
what should they do? Because they are competing with people. Because we have the elderly who have already made their wealth, and they are using it to finance the elections. And we have to, they were inviting us, to join the process and just participate and go to parliament. But to go there, we won't believe that in Uganda, the environment has been built without money. That is part of the government, but that's how the system is.
And according to me, that is a scam.
It is not a scam.
Let me tell you this. If it's a system, they have put that system that without money, to win elections, you have to have money. And that thing was put. Someone is the one, okay, there is a group of people, or there is evidence maybe let me not call it a party, and of which it can be. There are people who made it. There are people who think that they are supposed to be in those positions because they have money. But now, if we are to see the percentage of 40% in Uganda, they need brother.
I expect you to spend some money in campaigns.
Obviously, you have to spend money,
That's enough.
but not too much.
I just propose our dear guests that wrap up this, and so that we can get into another topic. So we could just wrap up this, and in 2 minutes or a minute, I would want us to have now what is the take home? What have we got to say in a conclusive manner? What have we got to say? Especially, we've looked at the plight of the young people. We've looked at the role that they're supposed to execute as young people. What is the take home? I'll start with you.
So for me, when you make a diagnosis, I am a doctor, and the first step to managing a patient is getting the right diagnosis. If they have malaria and for you think they have maybe typhoid, so identifying the diagnosis is key. It beats my understanding when you find a group of people, they're actually seeing a problem, but they cannot. They're actually seeing it, but they choose to live in denial. They know the problem is the system, but the very people that are affected by the system choose to side with the system. I am one person that believes that if we are to continue with this representation in courts, because it is not actually representation, then we should scrap off the political party thing when it comes to minority groups. The other time I was seeing Honorable Minempaka, when he was the youth MP Western Uganda, after the NRM caucus 2017, about the age limit bill. And he was saying, I understand most of the people I represent are against this, but you see, I belong to a party that has sat in Jankwans and made a consensus that everyone has to support that. Now these are people that have identified the problem, but they have chosen. And you see, when God will be judging us, He will not judge us for doing bad things only. He will also judge us for indifference, that you look at something wrong and just keep quiet. People that have been there, people that want to get there, are we showing the potential that we can be trusted when we get there? You are saying you want to topple the topmost leaderships of the country. You are a young man, or you resonate with young people, but you cannot explain issues of governance. You are hosted on TV, and you cannot explain issues of governance, but you want us to trust you with the most influential positions of our government. So it's wrong. The system has its own flaws, overwhelming flaws, but even us as youth, we have a lot of them. There are people that have a chance to be there, but when they get there, you never see anything. So as we blame the system, then ourselves, we are showing that we actually have potential. Are you able to discuss these issues? Can they host you on a TV and you want to be an MP, you want to be a president, you resonate with young people, but when you come on TV, we don't see you. We don't see you explain governance issues, because that's what we want. We don't want excitement.
Because you're a politician. That is what politicians do.
Most youth
They do the talking?
Most youth are violent.
Is what he's saying. Don't be a politician if you do not have the qualities to be one.
Yes, most youth have identified themselves with excitement. And they have given up on the essential values of politics. It's about working for
and what pains most of us is them now blaming us, making it a blame game. Young people do not understand. I do not understand, and someone who is telling that is someone who is sleeping in parliament. And if we actually 5%, I think it is the percentage is supposed to be in the parliament. I think the 95% are actually people who are not even supposed to even to be at a local government, to have leadership at a local government.
So for me,
we have had
in 1 minute, this is my take home, that we have identified that the system has deliberately put us in a situation where we cannot help ourselves to some extent, but we are not desperate because we believe something can be done. At least we have people that have gotten there. But when they get there, the main issue is when they get there, do they change the narrative or they let the status quo flow? It is absurd that they make the status quo flow. I am one person that strongly believes that we don't need this representation. Because when you say 4 are representing the youth, it means the 500 are representing not the youth. That's what it means. We are supposed to be on the main table, not the side table. So I still insist we need this representation because it is not representation. And 2, I second the motion of scrapping up the budget for National Youth Council, and we can talk about the National Youth Council another day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Honorable. To me, I think youth, we need to demand accountability. We need to demand accountability. I was so surprised that we have the 75% of the population, and that population has, I think, there are so many issues that are affecting that 75%. Surprisingly, we do not have a ministry. Our issues are being taken care of. A department in the Ministry of Social, Gender, I think, Gender and Social Development. That's the department to take care of issues of the majority. You can imagine. And I don't understand the appointments, because how can you appoint Baram to take care of the issues of the youth? I'm not attacking Honorable Baram, but it does not make sense to appoint a doctor to be a minister of ICT. It does not make any sense. We have young MPs in parliament. We have those who have been there and they have proven. He was talking about Gerard Karang, he was talking about so many. We have young people who are working with the government. And you decide to appoint someone who is completely out of that field. I think there is also, we need also to question the appointment processes. Someone was suggesting that before making an appointment of the state ministers, it should be sent to parliament and they discuss it. But of course we know there is nothing that comes from the other side and reaches the parliament in this night. When we see 100 million being splashed in parliament for, so it makes no sense. So another thing, apart from demanding accountability, we also need to get organized. Young people, we also need to, if we believe that we can really take care of the administration of this country, we need to prove that we are worth. We need to do research, we need to read, we need to get organized and be ready for, because in last elections, actually not even in the last elections, even the elections that are going to come, you will see the youth are excited about the money that is going to be given, the 10,000, the 5 year. So they are not so much interested in participating, but in that little thing they are going to get from there. So we also need to make research. We need to equip ourselves with knowledge that can help us, administer those positions in case we get there. Honorable.
Thank you so much.
Summarize what is your take home.
All right. For the take home, one I would still, because one of my aim, I'm always advocating and I'm always encouraging the youth to get involved in politics. The reason why I'm advising them to engage in politics, because when you're into something, it's when you understand it. If you're outside something, you can never know. Because those people who say politics is not part of me, I'm not a politician, that's what you think. But everyone, whatever happens, whatever is done in the parliament, whatever is decided by that politician you send to parliament affects you in and out.
the precise definition of politics
Aha.
is the
It
art of
affects
managing
where you are
society.
to go tomorrow and where you are today. Meaning, if you just separate yourself with politics, you have separated yourself with your own heart. You've separated yourself with your motherland, because it's part of us. Politics is part of us. And even I cannot fail to talk about corruption. You have had MPs that they go, that's what we have already said, they go in parliament and sleep. But you have forgotten about what those MPs gave you before they go. If I pay you before you work, will you again need my money after working? Like, for example, I'm having a work for you. I have paid you before you start the work. Meaning, are you going to ask me for the money after the work? I have already paid you, not so. So if I give you money before I go to parliament, I have already paid for what you expect from me. So this tendency of us aiming at eating these politicians' money, it's the most thing that is affecting us.
You should reject it.
Not even rejecting it. You should totally ban it.
When we are hungry.
Yes, it's evil. Then another thing I'm going to talk about.
Yeah, in a second.
Okay. Another thing I'm going to talk about is with the youth. We have realized that we make the biggest population. Meaning, if we can, I have always seen them, they already participate in local politics. They already participate in these politics of LC1. They can never even reach the district level. So, meaning, if you just make sure that your politics are limited, you have limited yourself. And before that, they even don't have time to know who is who, like who provides for what. Because if they say at least someone has to be beyond the age of 18, okay, and most of the youth are above that age, they are qualified, they have just finished senior 6, they are saying they are unemployed, yes, but if you're not represented, what are you doing to feel presented? What efforts are you doing? What efforts are you putting in, at least to fill that gap? Because you have what it takes. Okay.
Thank you so much, and I want to remind you that we are being shot by Happy Shots, our sole sponsor today. And maybe before we leave the issue of the youth, I do not want to leave that segment without mentioning that youth, they have gotten this syndrome of it is usually affecting the blind Christians, that everything they do, they blame it on Satan. They deny responsibility. So they put every problem they face, they attach it to the government. Please, we also have something to do with our lives. We also you have to read, you have to look for jobs. Government is not going to find you in your rental. Have something to do, get a skill, be valuable.
Lastly, my take home, especially about the topic, is making sure that we are pleading, wherever you are, government, those who have positions, that we are your people, and we are Ugandans. We are Ugandans, we are your people, and tomorrow we are going to be judged by our actions. So when you are there and you're trying to come up with policies that do not support the young people, and you know that is the 75% of the general population, whatever you're doing is a disservice to the country. We are looking at countries that have grown. When are we going to leave the state we are in? Our daughters are going to Saudi Arabia, our girls, other people are going to these developed countries, they are working as maids, but we have resources here. We are running countries without even, water, without even anything, but even with their scanty resources, they have been able to make it to the top. For us, which is called the part of Africa, our people are crying and we are doing the blame game. We are saying young people are lazy. We are saying let them go and do agriculture, and you're giving them examples of a retired minister, and you're saying you benchmark from a retired minister who's having a farm. These are young people who have graduated, they have sold everything, a piece of land to educate them. and you are telling them that you go and do
business
without even that. You're saying that them start a business. There is this extortionist taxation system. They cannot even start a business without even a saving, without even jobs. They are saying they require a 5-year experience to a graduate, yet they entered those jobs without experience. Now they are saying that the graduates they do not have employable skills. Now, which employable skills for you? What skills did you have when you were entering the system? Now they say we don't have employable skills. They studied from the same universities. Now who has got the power to change the system if we say we don't have employable skills?
I saw a leader in he was a politician, was not even a leader. He was a politician in Mitiana. He was saying that he was addressing a group of unemployed youth, and they should start saving groups. Unemployed youth starting saving groups, like what logic is there?
That is my take home, that it is high time we came together and we hold people accountable, especially our leaders who are failing, of course, to do what meets our expectation. I'll tell you that we have a social contract with them. With the social contract, you agree, you say, people, we've sent you, go and represent us. It is not you with the power, it is the power with us, because we have the general will. You people, we gave you our general will, you are betraying us, but I can tell you that whatever mess you're creating, it will be counted on you. But young people, let's keep our eyes open, let's use social media, let's hold these leaders accountable. Let's not have that apathy, let's not be detached. These are our matters. We need a better tomorrow, and that is where we are.
It's our country.
I have to thank you so much, Dr. Kosma. I have to thank you so much, Honorable Eunice. I wish you the best. If you do not sleep on the job, like you are saying you're going there, please make sure once you get there, do not get the 100 million they are giving to people, because we know that you're going to be handsomely paid. These guys are paid handsomely. You could just get that money in 3 months, but do not be blinded that you go and you make sure people who are civilians be tried in general court martial. One day you're going to be tried in general court martial. So I want to thank you so much, my co-host. It's really been beautiful, and I will have to make a disclaimer that whatever we are talking, we do not subscribe to any political party. We are just young people with ideas that we feel if we embrace them, we can actually make this a better country. Our president tells us to be patriotic, and that is what it means to be patriotic. We are being patriotic by making sure we are concerned with the governance of our country. So thank you so much for being patriotic. Thank you so much for not being indifferent. Doctor, continue like that. I think with this series, as the Ignored Bazukulu, if we continue doing this, we can also contribute and build our country.
So thank you so much. As we wrap up this show, I will allow everyone to introduce themselves as we leave this segment. It's been Nahamia Nicholas representing the voice of the Ignored Bazukulu, and
it is Akampurira the Gracious and the co-host of the Ignored Bazukulu. I'm also an Ignored Muzukulu and an employed graduate.
Honorable Shaba, the aspiring Western Youth MP,
and yes, I am Dr. Kosma, and I've subscribed to the notion of the Ignored Bazukulu.
Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button not to miss any kind of video, any kind of
voice of the Ignored Bazukulu on all our social media platforms. Follow us and get to hear the voices of the young people.
Thank you so much.